Cheers!
Welcome to
Movie
Bitches, our podcast. Let's have a Kiki with Movie Bitches.
I feel like we need a fan noise, like a...
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Instead of like a glasses clink, it should be like, cheers!
So, this is our first shot at recording the podcast, not in a professional booth at Sundance.
Exactly.
So, hopefully it sounds okay. We're working on it, and we're doing our best.
Yeah,
so...
hopefully it just works out, but if it doesn't, then we will, it's a work in progress.
We'll improve upon it,
Exactly.
yes, but you can enjoy our silky, soft-spoken voices.
The dulcet tones. Is that the dulcet tones of a
Tones of a
glockenspiel?
glockenspiel? That fucking movie.
Oh my god. This is the second episode, a very special mini episode of Let's Have a Kiki.
I don't know how many it's going to be.
Oh boy, there are things to talk about.
Excited to talk about it. I mean, I know I shouldn't care about the Oscars, but oh boy, do I love watching them.
Wait, why shouldn't you care about the Oscars?
Everyone's all like, oh, it's out of date.
Oh, I love the Oscars.
But I genuinely enjoy them.
Exactly.
Movies and fashion and all of the above. And it's always a mess. And it's always pretty fun.
This one was a little less fun for me.
Here's my thing. I had no real skin in the game or expectations. So even though I might disagree with some of the decisions that were made, I'm not like irate because I didn't care before the show, so I don't care after.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really just didn't give a shit this year.
So it's kind of a relaxing watch, actually.
Good. Well, so we should say, so it's kind of fun. Avaryl and I both have different little traditions for the Oscars. Avaryl tends to have breakfast for dinner with her family.
We've got
which
waffles.
Is super cute. I'm hungry now.
Yeah, that's pretty much our only tradition. Oscar waffles.
I love it. Well, and then normally I do an Oscars party where I make a dish for every Best Picture nomination. But this year, I went to some fancy parties instead. And I will say, it's a lot less work.
Oh, well, yeah.
And I'm kind of glad, of all of the years to have skipped, this was the best one because I did not know what I was going to do for these movies.
Oh my gosh, I did see on Instagram that someone did Peeps for the
that's
favorite.
Cute. I was just going to say maybe I would make like some rabbit dish, a little bleaker.
Yeah.
But so there was no host.
You know what? I'm going to say it now. Didn't mind. I liked it. Didn't care.
It was so boring. I don't know. I like having a host. Someone to like...
I mean, what? We missed a couple of jokes and
whatever. The thing is, like, when they're bad, then it's like, sure. Like, who was it last year he was bad? Jimmy Kimmel or something? I was like, I don't care.
Who's been good? Let's be honest.
Billy Crystal.
That was 20 years ago.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Again, 15 to 20 years ago.
Sure. I mean, Amy Poehler, like, that was, so it starts off, and Amy Poehler and Tina Fey and Maya Rudolph are there, and I was like, oh, good, so they are going to host, and then they weren't. But they did.
No, I knew they were going to make a joke about it,
Of course. But I would have loved for them to just stick around all the time and, like, comment on things.
I mean, I think it gave the announcers, like, more broad strokes to, like, do funny things and whatever. I honestly didn't miss it. I was, like, fine with it.
It was fine. It wasn't, like, a big deal. I like when the show is a little bit more of a production, because...
Oh, definitely. I mean, it started, and I was like, what's this weird portal that what's happening with this, like, weird alternate universe portal? And here's Queen. Okay, what?
Yeah.
And Brian May's hair looks the same. I want to talk about Brian May's hair for a while.
Oh, yeah. The crazy, crazy hair.
It kind of set the mood for the night of like, well, Adam Lambert's no Freddie Mercury. And then it was like, and that was kind of the mood of the night. Let's all talk about Freddie like we were best friends. I'm kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
They could have had more fun with the no host. Like, get Morgan Freeman to do all the commercial breaks or the up next. Just have it be an off-screen voice that announces it, but it's like Morgan Freeman or something. That could have been fun.
That would have been fun. I like that. Well, So before we talk about the show, should we talk about the fashion?
Yes.
Fashion. Pose. Fashion. Pose.
I mean,
work the runway.
Of pose.
Well, speaking of pose, oh my God.
I love that the biggest splash on the red carpet was a guy this year. That's so amazing.
Yeah, that is. That's pretty fabulous.
Billy Porter's, like, tuxedo gown. I mean, come on. If it was ever appropriate. His tuxedo gown by Christian Siriano.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was so fabulous. I was really pleased overall with the amount of like quote unquote gender bending. You know, there was a lot more fabulous menswear and there was a lot of women wearing menswear and androgyny. There's a lot of variety, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. It was impressive. I mean, I only got to see some of it because I had my own red carpet.
In this Pee Wee Herman realness.
Oh my gosh. Everyone keeps saying that. I was like, I don't know if that's a compliment, but I guess I'll take it.
It's like, black tie Pee Wee Herman.
Okay. Still not sure it's a compliment, but I guess I'll take it.
I mean, I like Pee Wee Herman.
Sure. I just don't know if you want anyone to tell you look like Pee Wee Herman.
I mean, the outfit. I don't think you look like him.
Sure.
But hey, Paul Rubens is fabulous.
I mean, yes.
So, yeah, I mean, I think Billy Porter was probably the biggest splash. There was no real standout on like, oh shit, but there was a lot of lovely outfits and, like I said, a lot of mixing of gender norms and all of that, so I was excited to see that.
Sure.
Well, so I turned on my TV to watch the red carpet pre-show, and there is Jennifer Lewis,
oh my god,
and Shangela.
Yeah.
They were having a great time.
They were having a blast, which is so much fun. And both of them looked gorgeous.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Lewis in this like bronze suit with all these huge like jewels like all over it. It was like jeweled shoulder pads. I was like, yes. And then Shangela, oh my god, my dad kept being like, is that her real hair? And I was like, no, that's a wig. And he's like, but like the line, it's like, it looks so good. I'm like, yeah, it's a lace front, Dad. And he's like, but it can't be. I mean, that's hair, right? And I'm like, I mean, it might be human hair, but it's 100% a wig. And he was just like, I don't know. I'm going to get into it. Okay. He could not fathom that it was a wig because it just looks so good.
Good. I really like that. Fooling everyone with her wig line, apparently. Unclockable.
Unclockable from my father.
Yeah.
She's probably like the first drag queen to go to the Oscars, or at least one of the first. I mean, I guess technically Matt Stone and Trey Parker came in drag, so what are we talking about? Remember when they came in drag?
Oh, yeah.
In the J-Lo dress and the Gwyneth Paltrow dress. And apparently they were just like out of their minds high on acid, which is
That's
fabulous.
right. I remember hearing that. Some sort of altered state. Let's just say that.
High out of their minds. Loved it. So that was so fun to like, they were the first ones I saw when I turned on the TV. I was like, oh my God, yes.
Perfect.
But they should have called Jennifer Lewis to host the Oscars. Where you have the personality, you have the beauty, you have the grace, the professionalism, the humor, the charisma. Child, please.
And then I thought Constance Wu looked like super cute. She had that yellow dress on, like she looked like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, except it looked good. I love that it was so much better than the
goddamn $300 million movie or whatever.
It was sort of a slightly more modern take on it, like had this fallen sleeve. It was like really classic and beautiful. I'm like, yes. Are you gonna look it up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, gorgeous.
Right?
Oh, I love it.
Right?
She just
totally
looks
beautiful.
like ethereal and fabulous. Why wouldn't you do something like this even for Belle? It could have been fun, where it's like, let's do a different take on it, you know?
It looks like a different take, and yet I love it.
Exactly.
You know, it's not
exactly.
Like,
it's like, oh, it's
respectful.
still fabulous. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. This doesn't look like garbage. What happened? Yeah. I'm still mad about it. I'm still mad. And then, speaking of the Crazy Rich Asians cast.
Oh my God, Awkwafina.
Michelle Yeoh. I was going to say.
Oh, sorry. Michelle Yeoh.
I mean, she looked like the most beautiful princess. Just like fabulous.
It's true.
Burnout, sequined, just... Oh,
yeah.
It was so perfectly tailored to her. I fucking love her.
She's amazing. And you know what's fun, though, is that, like, she's now getting the recognition that she deserves, you know?
Oh, yeah. I've been talking about Michelle Yeoh for years.
Oh, for years. But now people are finally also talking about Michelle Yeoh.
It's just really fun to sort of follow people on their journeys or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll get into it, but it's reminding me of like Olivia Colman, who like I've loved for years and years and years. And she has, been plucked from obscurity, and I'm like, good for you.
Yeah, she's having her moment in the sun. I mean, we'll talk about it because there's feelings.
We'll get into it.
But I mean, I'm perfectly happy for her.
Yes. And then, so I liked Awkwafina's look. I liked that it was a suit. I liked that it was pink. I thought it could have been tailored a little better.
Yes.
Like, the pants were just a little too long and just a little too wide-legged, and the ruffles, like, it just could have been ever so slightly more flattering.
I agree.
But I was like here for all of the men's fashion on women. This whole like Amy Poehler,
oh my God, yes.
Like loved it, except again, like a few too many ruffles. I was into it was a night of capes. That's for sure.
Oh, we will talk about
the capes. There were so many capes.
Yes.
Melissa McCarthy in this sort of structured tuxedo pant, but then this silky white, top with like the full cape. And then, oh my God, Allison Janney in that, again, like androgynous tuxedo gown. Did you remember that? It was like somewhat matador, somewhat tuxedo.
Oh, yes. Oh, I like it. She kind of looks like an envelope for the Oscars. Does that make sense?
Yes. It's like if David Bowie and a matador and a fabulous cunt were an envelope for the Oscars.
Yeah. Yeah. I love her.
Oh, I mean, come on.
So, should we talk about Lady Gaga and her diamond?
Holy shit. Well, so she had two different dresses that were very similar. She wore one dress on the red carpet that had a very sort of structured, peigne sides, like,
Yeah.
big old hips, but the same necklace and hair. And then a performance.
Oh, God, that tank top. I did not like the Razorback.
I wrote down, this looks comfortable, which isn't really what, you think of when you think of Gaga at the Oscars. I mean, there's so much pressure on her to be like crazy and fabulous and over the top and whatever. So
sure,
I get it, but I was also kind of like, oh, that's what you wore? Okay.
I think she's kind of moved on from like the crazy outfit phase.
But you could still do like fashion.
Sure. Especially from like, Gaga, that's what you expect. But
so I'm sure she tried on every dress in existence, but
I like the first one with the
maybe
the
this one was comfortable,
Yeah, well, this one definitely did look comfortable. I just did not care for like the straps, the way that. Oh my God, that diamond! Apparently, it's from Tiffany's, and it's like some insane, crazy thing.
I mean, it was like the size of a mouse. It was huge.
It's like the size of a walnut from The Wife.
Wait, from The Wife?
You like really didn't watch that movie, did you?
Did he buy her jewelry?
No.
Oh yeah, when he wrote on the walnuts.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I did, but I thought we were talking about jewels. That was his thing, right? Ooh, I'm going to write on walnuts.
It was so sleazy.
Can we talk about Spike Lee?
Yes.
His, like, Captain Antonil and Prince.
Oh my God. Yes. I mean, literally, he had like the Prince symbol.
I mean, I think it wasn't exactly that, but maybe it was.
I think it probably was.
Did you see him when he lost for Best Directing? He was like holding it like kind of like rosary like,
yes.
Come on, baby, let's do it. And then when he lost, he looked so pissed.
Oh, I can't believe he lost.
You gotta, we'll get into it when we get there. Holy shit. So the fashion. So Regina King and Regina King's leg.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love her so much. Her mom seems like the most fabulous person.
Oh, I know, right? Oh, that was so sweet. Oh.
And she was sitting next, I love that she's sitting next to Chris Evans the whole time. Just like, hey,
oh yeah, exactly. Also, Chris Evans was looking like a snack.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was excited. There was a lot of velvet suits. There was a lot of colors.
Yes.
John Mulaney had that like rose kind of faded, pattern tapestry suit. There was a lot of cool fashion for men.
Yeah, there was. Well, and I even actually I think that was the best thing about Jason Momoa.
Oh my God. Well, no. Okay, the best thing about Jason Momoa was that he had a matching fucking scrunchie. Did you see that?
No. Oh,
so he's wearing like a full velvet millennial pink suit, and then he had a velvet millennial pink scrunchie, like 90s, like big poppin' scrunchie on his wrist.
But on his wrist.
And I lost my mind. Yeah, on his wrist.
But he needed to put it in his hair because like his hair was a mess and his beard was a disaster.
I mean, that's like his thing.
I don't like it.
He's like hot homeless.
Oh.
It's like his look.
No, I don't like it.
But I died over that scrunchie. It was the star of the Oscars, I swear to God.
Oh my God.
It's like a huge fucking 90s like crushed velvet.
Yeah, I love it.
Scrunchy.
I love it.
I did sort of love that Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet were like color coordinated matching. Like, yes, power couple. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, they were.
But we didn't talk enough, I think, about Regina King.
No, this beautiful white dress. She looked amazing.
She looked like a goddess. You didn't see If Beale Street Could Talk, did you?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
She was definitely the best part of that whole movie. I mean, I guess, should we talk about it?
Oh, sure.
Well, okay, so it's the director of Moonlight, so it's got a similar sort of like melancholy kind of meandering. It's very vibe oriented.
Yes.
Which is not my favorite kind of movie always. I like a plot, I like a plot that's driving forward.
Sure.
And that's just a personal preference. But this was like real meandery for me, and there was lots of scenes where I was like, I don't really care what's happening, and it was just really melancholy. Like, it was just very melancholy and didn't really seem like a right now movie somehow.
Interesting.
And, you know, it's about this couple and they're going to get married and she gets pregnant and then he gets wrongfully accused of rape. You know, he gets profiled because he's Black and goes to jail. And the whole movie is like them trying to get him out of jail. And Regina King is like her fabulous mom who's like, we're going to do this. But somehow, because like surrounding the whole Me Too and like believing victims, there was a weirdness. Like, and they describe in detail how horrifically this woman was assaulted. And so it's like, ugh, they don't show it, but they like pretty much go into detail and you're like, oh my God, that's horrible. So she goes back to Puerto Rico to get her life back or whatever. And Regina King goes down there and tries to convince her to like retract her statement. And they have this whole like confrontation. And you know, the woman essentially, I think word for word says, you're acting this way because, well, then you've never been raped. And you're like, ooh. And so it just had this vibe of like, I mean, yes, being wrongfully accused of rape, you know, as a Black man is such like a thing that is very, very, very true. And like, there's so many people that are incarcerated for the wrong reasons.
Sure.
But then there was this whole like underlying like, but victim, like shaming, blaming.
Yeah.
Like, and so it just was like, I think it was a not for right now movie.
Interesting.
Like it was just bad timing in general.
Sure.
So, I mean, you know, that's just how I felt about it. But Regina King, fabulous. She was really, really, really fabulous. So there was that. Oh my God. And Richard E. Grant's like burgundy velvet suit tuxedo. Oh, so good. Fucking love Richard E. Grant.
I know you do.
He's so fabulous. I had the time to watch one more Oscar movie before we recorded this.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, should I watch Green Book or should I watch Can You Ever Forgive Me? And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to watch Can You Ever Forgive Me? And I did. And it was great.
Oh, good. Oh, good. It's on my list. I've been wanting to watch it because I heard it was good.
It was really quite fabulous. Melissa McCarthy was amazing. Richard E. Grant was really, really, I mean, their performances are really the main part of the movie. But like the plot was really interesting. And it was just a sort of a scene study on like loneliness and friendship and sort of making your way, and I really liked it. It was a good character study. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's a female filmmaker, female writer, which you know I'm always here for. So.
You know, I actually really like Melissa McCarthy, and I'm glad that she's kind of breaking into a different.
Oh yeah, I mean it showed her range.
Yeah.
You know, I mean I'm sure people maybe went and saw this movie and were like, she's not, you know, being funny. She like or whatever.
Sure.
She was so compelling. I mean. They each, at the end of the movie, they each call each other, like, nasty cunts. And I was like, yeah, this movie's for me. Definitely. Yeah. So I would actually highly recommend Can You Ever Forgive Me? I really liked it a lot.
Okay, cool.
Notwithstanding my Richard E. Grant bias. I really wanted him to win.
I know. I'm sorry.
We haven't talked about Glenn Close and Glenn Close's cape.
Oh, my God.
And her golden cape.
Oh, my God.
Rolling up to the Oscars looking like an Oscar. I was here for it. I thought it was a lot of fabric. I thought it was maybe a little too much fabric.
You know what would have been fun is if the cape were lined in red or something.
Ooh, she's the red carpet and the Oscar.
Yeah, that would have been fun. But she looked fabulous. Do you see that silly gif of her?
She's looking at Billy Porter, just being like, yes,
oh my God, I love
it. Bitch. That's what her eyes are telling you.
Okay.
I have to express it because since this isn't a visual medium, that's what her eyes were telling you.
Right.
Her finger might as well have been shaking. Yes. I mean, this fucking suit gown. I just can't stop talking about it.
He looked fabulous. It was everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Definitely the winner.
Yeah, he won the night. That's for sure. Yeah. That and Jason Momoa's scrunchie.
Oh my God, Jason Momoa's scrunchie.
It really did win the night. I mean, people aren't talking about it enough, and I don't know why. And then I really liked Rachel Weisz's look. I thought it was really cool and different.
Yeah, I did not.
You didn't like it?
It reminded me of Britney Spears.
Oh my God, kind of. But like the Oscars edition. I like this sort of vinyl red, 60s vibe or whatever. It was different. She's always doing kind of fashion risks. So I was into it. I wasn't like gagged, like this is my favorite thing ever. Fair. But I was like, yes, this is different. You're not just wearing, like a strapless ball gown or whatever.
Right. It was different and interesting. So sure.
So there. I made my case for Rachel Weisz. But it was a night of capes.
Oh my God, it really was.
Capes and pink.
Pink was
Helen Mirren.
Oh my God, we haven't talked about Helen Mirren.
I mean, I wasn't obsessed with it, but it was cute.
I mean, I'm obsessed with her,
of course. Julia Roberts was in pink. Awkwafina was in pink. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet were in pink. Capes and pink. And yet, no pink capes.
Huh.
So, Queen comes out, well, mostly, of this portal. I don't know how I felt about this. I was just sort of like, okay, sure. We're not going to have all of the nominated songs perform.
Right.
But we're going to have Queen. I get it. Love me some fucking Queen. But I don't know. It just felt sort of unceremonious. I guess, you're right. There was no host to be like, here we are. This is what we're doing. And here's Queen. It just sort of started and it was like, oh, okay.
Well, it's like, normally they have like a host to like start off the whole thing and be like, here we are. It's the Oscars and we're doing a number where we talk about all of the movies.
Yeah.
And,
But like, I don't really care.
I mean, I get it. I'm just saying.
I mean,
it's weird then to just be like, and here's Adam Lambert.
I see both sides. It was weird because it was like, and here's Adam Lambert, and he can sing, but Freddie Mercury. I mean, and I guess this is what other people were doing throughout the night, but he's just such a sort of precious soul to me that I was like annoyed because that movie is so like watered down for him
right.
and everything, and I was just like mad about it. But maybe it's not my place to be mad about it. I don't know. I fucking love Queen. They're one of my favorite bands of all time, if not my favorite rock band of all time. Like, I fucking love Queen. So I did not see Bohemian Rhapsody because I just couldn't deal with it, because it felt like it basically felt like Rockstar. Remember that Mark Wahlberg movie that's like, it's like trying to be real serious, but also it's like a full joke parody. What's happening? So I could not bring myself to watch the movie. I've seen all the documentaries. When I found out it was PG-13, I was like, no, pass. Yeah. I mean, and then like, let's not even get into the whole Bryan Singer thing and like the firing and the, it seems like a mess. You saw it.
I did see it. He was great.
Yeah.
Super happy for him. That's great. The movie was
Rami Malek.
Bad. Yeah, Rami Malek.
Yeah.
Not Bryan Singer.
I'm just clarifying. Did it seem obvious? Like, oh, this is when they fired Bryan Singer. Here's some scenes that don't match.
It was just, the whole thing was kind of whatever. I just kind of let it wash over me, if that makes sense. I was not like an engaged audience member. It was just kind of like, oh, this was an experience that I just went through.
Sure.
And like parts of it I really liked, but I didn't find it to be
Queen's music is undeniable. So.
Well, and that's the thing.
Basically watching like a heavily produced, fake concert footage of Queen. Like, yeah.
That's what's weird is that it's like, you guys, I would have just preferred to watch Queen.
Exactly. That's why I always am a proponent, at least for this subject matter. Just watch the documentaries. There's a bunch of them.
Sure.
I mean, I'm still sad that we never got to see the hard R Sacha Baron Cohen version, because that would have been amazing.
Oh my God, that would have been. I mean, like we've said in other things, the fact that Sonia the White Swan had harder sex scenes.
Had more anal sex.
Like, what's happening?
Had anal sex at all. I'm assuming, because I did not see the film, but PG-13.
Oh no. I mean, yeah, exactly. No.
Does he have sex with anybody?
No. I mean, I think they like imply everything, It's like, oh, and then
they fell asleep and woke up the next morning. They were shirtless
or whatever. It's like, come on, you guys.
Does he make out with a guy?
They like kiss.
Okay.
I don't even think we could call it making out.
Okay,
do
a little
I don't even
kiss.
remember.
Do they do drugs?
So blah. They have like a smoky house party in Berlin or something, and it's like, okay, we get it. He's on drugs and drunk. It was all like painted as like sad, like, oh, what have you become?
I don't like that.
I think that's why the movie really needs to show the fabulosity and then how it slides down into not fabulous,
Exactly.
And they never really did that.
So that sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I didn't watch Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well,
I'm happy with my choice.
I think you're fine.
We are not your hosts this year, but if we had hosted, it probably would have gone like this.
Hey, Chadwick Boseman, what kind of plans you got later?
We are not your hosts.
we are not your hosting. But if we were, host. It would look something like this.
I mean, I love that they're like half-assed. We're not really hosting was like better than
it was fabulous.
Most hosting jobs.
I loved it and I wanted it to go on all night.
These Spanx are so tight, they've entered my Spider-Verse. Rome is on Netflix. What's next? My microwave makes a movie.
Vice won for hair and makeup for transforming Christian Bale. I didn't see Vice. It seemed like too depressing. Like I was like, I'm already on the side of the movie that, like, I'm already there.
Right.
I already know that it was a disaster and a mess, and like I don't want to know more about it because it's just going to make me depressed and mad.
I get that. You have to do you. I'm intrigued. I've heard it's really good and it's on my list. I want to see it. This year was rough. I did not have time to see all of the movies.
It seems like, Adam McKay, he's got his own genre style, kind of almost like it's like comedy, drama, like Scorsese edited. I don't know. He sort of takes from a lot of different people. He did Big Short.
Right.
So it's like that kind of vibe.
I don't think I actually ever saw Big Short.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I'm sure that Vice is very good. I'm just like, I'm already depressed about the state of the world. I don't need to be depressed about the state of the world, 15 years ago or whatever.
Right.
The horrific war crimes that we all just agree. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah. But hair and makeup, I was bummed. So I went and saw Stan and Ollie, the Laurel and Hardy biopic that nobody saw because it was literally made for me and my grandma. And that was kind of the funny part about the movie was like the movie was like about how they had been forgotten, sort of. I really liked it. So it's Steve Coogan and John C. Reilly, and they were both fantastic, and they fucking transformed John C. Reilly into Oliver Hardy. It was insane, because he had a very distinct fatness, to put it bluntly. Okay, he had a very distinct look, and they had all these close-ups on his face. I mean, and his voice still felt very John C. Reilly, but like it didn't look like him at all. It was crazy. So I would have hoped they would have at least gotten a nomination for that.
Yeah, it's weird to me that it was just 3.
Yeah, I feel like that happens sometimes.
It does. And I just don't get it.
Because this was fabulous. I was very impressed. On the surface, it's like, oh, do we need another biopic about, these 2 white men? But I really thoroughly enjoyed Stan and Ollie, and I think you might like it too. It's sort of about their later years after their popularity had waned, and they were doing this tour all through the British Isles in these like little podunk theaters that are half full, and they're like trying to kind of, restoke the fire of their fame and stuff.
Interesting.
And it's just like a real deep personal look at their friendship and how close they were, but how, different they were and flawed. And halfway through the movie, their wives show up, and they're both fabulous cunts.
Oh my God.
Like the way they interact, they're almost a comedy duo. Like like one of them's all uptight and whatever, and the other one's like Russian, just like no nonsense, telling it like it is, and they just sort of clashed.
Love it.
And they really became the second stars of the movie for me, and I was like 100% all of this. I love it. But no, I would really recommend it. It's definitely not, subject matter for everyone, but oh boy, was it catnip for me.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I mean, that sounds fun to me, so.
Yeah, and Steve Coogan.
Of course.
I really like him.
I do too.
And he nails Stan Laurel.
Oh.
Holy shit. Like the voice, because Stan would, put on this little facade whenever he was doing sort of his little clown character. And it was interesting to see Steve Coogan play Stan Laurel and then play Stan Laurel, the character in movies.
Sure.
And it like switched so subtly. It was very interesting. That's again something that maybe I would only notice.
Well, that's pretty cool though. I mean, that's good acting.
Honestly, I wish both of them had been nominated. They were both fabulous.
Oh my gosh. So then Melissa McCarthy comes out.
Oh my.
And I just died.
This Queen Anne stuffed rabbits. My dad laughed so hard he started choking. We had to pause.
Oh my God. Did he see the movie? He just thought it was hilarious.
He had no context.
Oh my God, I love it.
And he also did not say, why does she have all those rabbits? He just laughed and laughed.
Oh my God, I love it.
And I was going to be like, she's doing a joke on Queen Anne and the rat. I was like, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You enjoy the comedy.
Oh my God.
But this was so fabulous.
It was silly and fun.
This train full of stuffed rabbits.
And then her little puppet.
Hilarious. And then Black Panther wins for best costumes. Fuck
yes. I was going to be pissed if anything else won. Even though there were some fabulous costumes in all of them. I was like...
Yeah, like looking back, watching all the clips again, I was like, yeah. Like Black Panther was fucking rad with the costumes.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, it was obviously, but it's been so long since I saw that movie. Re-seeing the clips, I was like, 100%.
This has been a long time coming.
She gave a lovely speech.
Yes.
And then it was production design, and Black Panther won for that too. And I thought, this was such a powerful speech.
I stand here stronger than I was yesterday. I stand here with agency and self-worth because of Ryan Coogler.
she just profusely thanked Ryan Coogler, the director.
Yeah.
And everybody really seemed to be. And I don't think he was there because they didn't
I don't
cut
think
to him.
so, because this is what's fucked up about this nonsense.
But he wasn't nominated for directing?
Well, he wasn't nominated for directing, and he wasn't a producer. He didn't get a producer credit on the movie. So he wasn't nominated for anything.
That's so fucked up.
So I don't know if he was like, well, fuck this then, I'm not going.
Well, or he was busy. Let's not put words in his mouth. Who knows? But like the amount of, I think more than any other director, he, like, everyone that won for his movie was like, holy shit, Ryan, you believed in me, like, you were my champion. She was so incredibly moved, and I think hers was probably the most, like, emotionally powerful speech.
I agree.
She thanked Rachel Morrison, who was the cinematographer, and I had forgotten that she was the cinematographer for Black Panther because she was nominated last year for Mudbound, the same cinematographer. And I was like, what the fuck? She didn't get nominated for Black Panther? What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Instead, Alfonso Cuarón got his fourth award.
Oh my God. Well, you heard about this, right? His usual DP wasn't available, so he was like, well, I'll just do it.
Oh my God.
Now he has an Oscar. I mean, I'm sure that the cinematography for Roma was beautiful, but it just made me laugh that he was like, I'll do it.
Totally. Of all the things that I've heard about Roma, because I haven't watched it either. I don't particularly have a desire, but, you know, that's just me.
I don't know. Yeah, I keep on going like, oh, I should watch it because I do really like Alfonso Cuarón. I think he's an interesting storyteller and filmmaker.
Pretty much whenever I bring it up, I would say 80% of people are either like, it's fine, or it wasn't that good, or I didn't like it. And then there's like 20% of people that are like, oh my God, it's the most amazing movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's
right.
Like, well, I don't know if I really believe that.
Well,
so,
I mean, it spoke to them.
Sure.
So, you know.
Sure. I haven't
There's
seen
a lot of movies that I like that nobody cares about.
But everyone said that the cinematography was beautiful.
Can you believe this was the biggest shock of the night. When they're announcing Best Production Design.
This is the first Oscar nomination for Hannah Beale. She is the first African-American to be nominated in this category.
Was the first African-American to ever be nominated in this category. My mouth dropped.
Yeah.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's insane. But that's like cinematography last year.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, like, and maybe this is my assumptions, like cinematography, I really look at as like, yeah, boys club, you know what I mean? And somehow production design,
that's fair.
I just would have thought there would have been more minorities and more women in there. And so I was just like, what? So
yeah, that's
anyway,
crazy.
Color me shocked, but hey, broke that record. Oh boy. And then Jennifer Hudson's tuxedo gown as well.
Yes.
So many tuxedo gowns.
That was the thing.
Many.
Tuxedo gowns, pink and
capes.
Yeah. And scrunchies. Yeah. Well, just the one.
Just the one star scrunchie, really. I don't know. I didn't really like the song. You know, it has all the markings of a song I'd like. It's like Diane Warren and Jennifer Hudson. It's about RBG, all of that stuff. But I don't know. I was like, But her outfit was fabulous.
Well, there you go. I would say in general, the performances, aside from Lady Gaga's, no offense, Bette. I mean, I love Bette, but like...
I mean, I loved it. But it wasn't like show-stopping.
It was not like a real moment for me. Shallow was mostly because I was like, are they about to make out? Are they going to make out right now? Are they
going to fuck on this piano?
Thank you. I was
waiting for it to happen. In front of his wife?
Right.
In front of his wife. Who I confused with Charlize because they have the same haircut.
Oh my God.
I think Bette was obviously the second best performance for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And I love seeing her. And it was that was the best song from Mary Poppins Returns, I think.
It was certainly, that was their like feed the birds, but it wasn't
the most emotional.
Good. But yes,
song.
exactly.
I love me some Bette.
Oh, of course.
She looked great. I'm obsessed with her. She's fabulous. But yeah, it wasn't like a concert, you know. And having like fairly recently just watched the Grammys, it was like, yeah.
Right. And I guess to me, that's they didn't seem to understand, you know, their goal was just to make the Oscars shorter. And it's like, but you guys, if you make it entertaining, then we don't care if it's long.
Exactly. Pour some production value into this.
And that's what I was saying. Like, that's why I like having a host who's like particularly Broadway-esque type host who's going to be like, let's put on a song and dance and a show. It makes you more excited about the movies and about the red carpet and all of the glamour and spectacle of it.
You know what I would say? Have somebody do an opening number and then don't have a host. There you go.
I mean, you could do that too.
Well, that was like, so when Queen came out, I mean, not to keep bringing it up, but when I went to see Kiss in concert.
Oh my God.
It was like, out of control. The highest production value blew my mind. Like, honestly, it was insane. And so maybe everything's just going to pale in comparison. But
that's a burden you have to bear now.
It's a burden I have to bear. Oh, boy. But when Queen came out and it was just sort of like a normal, you know, like, we're performing this song. Like, I was like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, I get that it's not the Tonys, but like, come on, you guys, you can still put some effort into this.
So it did feel a little underwhelming in that department, except for Shallow, which we will get into heavily.
Oh my God.
Can we talk about James McAvoy? I want to talk about James
Yes,
McAvoy.
James McAvoy.
The utter silence of space in First Man.
He came out and I was like, I really like him.
Well, and him and Michonne from Walking Dead, and the main guard lady in Black Panther, the bald lady.
Yeah.
I always mispronounce her name, but she looked fabulous.
Yes.
In this like golden strapless black, but they were having so much fun together. But then Bohemian Rhapsody won for all the sound stuff, and I was like, whatever. I mean, maybe was the sound design nice? I don't know. I'm sure they had to because it was Freddie singing, right?
Oh, that's actually really fair. It was actually, no. This is kind of interesting. So I guess this makes sense. So it was not exclusively Freddie singing. Oh. It was a blend of like Freddie, like 70% or something. Yeah. This guy from like Canada, I think, who is like a sound alike. I was like, it sounds like a good impersonator. Sure. But, it doesn't sound
he had the voice of a generation, Andrew.
Well, exactly.
You just can't.
Yeah. But it was pretty good. So I guess they did a mixture of the impersonator, 5% maybe, of Rami.
Right.
And then
a couple of grunts from Rami or something.
Sure. And then a majority, Freddie. I guess, of Freddie. But so they did blend it all together. So I guess in that way, technically, and the final product sounded cool. So sure,
right?
But then didn't Damien Chazelle win? Didn't they win something?
They won visual effects.
Oh, visual effects. Yeah, right. I didn't see that. I didn't really have a desire to.
When I found out it was Damien Chazelle's new movie, I was like, I'm cool.
Yep, that was me too. I said, and I'll pass.
That's just where I'm at.
Yep.
Even though a kind of deep dive NASA film.
That does seem right up your alley.
Is right up my alley. But then I heard that it was not very good. And
but I also kind of need a break from Ryan Gosling right now.
I'm okay. I haven't seen him in a while. Since like Blade Runner? It's been a minute. Oh my God, did you see that Amy Adams brought her mom and her two sisters? I was like, that's a power move. Getting 3+1s.
Yeah, shit.
And I think maybe her husband was there too. I was like, shit, Amy Adams.
Well, she probably had like a producer credit and stuff too. So since it got nominated for all of those things, then she probably was like, cool.
+1.
That would be my guess. Well, did you see, who was it? Someone was like, who was like making out with his wife or girlfriend or whatever. And then was like, my mom's out here somewhere in the back row. And I was like, really?
Wasn't it Rami?
Yeah, I think it was Rami.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. I was confused. We've reached Daniel Craig and Charlize.
Oh my God.
We're there.
Oh my God. So I don't know what I hope they're trying to tell us something. That like the universe is not controlled by Satan.
Can't you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Like Juliette Lewis might have said.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe the universe is controlled by Satan and he's a rebel.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan, who is going to... Now that's recorded forever. Who's going to, go against the grain and hire Charlize as the new Bond.
Exactly. If Hail Satan taught us anything, it's that, we should work against the system.
Daniel Craig and Charlize come out and they're playing the James Bond theme and we were like passing the torch.
I hope so. I mean, I did not care for this look, although when she turned around and I saw the back, I was like, oh, I get it more now.
I think it wasn't her color.
No.
And it could have been just nipped in here and there. It just looked a little bit not quite perfectly tailored to her body. And I don't know if I like her with dark hair.
I don't think I do.
Yeah. She looked like, Zoe Lister-Jones or something.
Yeah,
like
she kind of did.
St. Vincent or something. Like, it was that look. And I just don't know if that's her look.
You know what else? The neck was so high. And she was so covered up with the sleeves.
She likes to have her back out. She likes a back moment. And like Hilary Swank,
I'm down for that. Out. I think I just might have preferred if the sleeves weren't there.
Of course, she's Charlize. She looks fabulous. But it was a little, off for me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's the hair and the haircut. It's too severe.
I think someone had said if this had been on Helen Mirren, I would have been like, yes, because it's more her colors and stuff. True. It would have been fabulous.
It's true.
I mean, really, Helen Mirren can pull anything off. What are we talking about?
Literally. I mean, Helen Mirren is just... Oh my God.
And then I thought Mike Myers and Dana Carvey were super fun. Even though
they looked so old though.
They looked so old, but I was still happy to see. I'm always happy.
I mean, totally. It was really more just like for me being like, oh my God.
Well, Dana Carvey is looking more and more like Paul McCartney. And Paul McCartney is looking more and more like Angela Lansbury. It's a weird... It's a weird thing. Well, so then other than Jason Momoa's scrunchie, I think my favorite moment of the night was when period end of sentence won.
Oh, I know. Oh my God.
When she was just like... How
fabulous was that?
I'm not crying because I'm on my period or anything. I can't believe a film about menstruation just won an Oscar.
That's the highlight. That's the clip they're going to play for years and years and years.
Absolutely.
I hope so.
I hope so
Manila
too.
Luzon, you are vindicated.
Right?
There was a lot of women up on stage. There was a lot of women of color up on stage throughout the night.
Yes.
So I was really happy about that. So even though, they kind of shit the bed by the end of the ceremonies, I kept being very like, oh my God, there's more women and there's more women and there's more people of color. And like, this is so fabulous.
That's true.
I think we can't just tag it all to one award, even though it was a mess. Even though it was a mess.
I like that we haven't. I think maybe we should go through the entire episode without actually saying
the words, saying the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen it, so.
I haven't either.
So then the lights turn down.
Oh my God.
And all these stagehand PAs start rolling out a piano and microphones and what's going on. And then I laughed so hard when Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga just like got up out of their seats here we are. I was like, what? God. I was shocked she didn't have a costume change. Shocked. But oh my God. I mean, what if they had just fucked on that piano?
That'd be crazy. I was waiting for it.
It would have been more R-rated than Bohemian Rhapsody, that's for sure. I think this performance might have been more R-rated than
honestly,
Bohemian Rhapsody.
yes.
Let's
I
be
think
honest.
there was more sex in this performance than there was in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well, okay, so I'll give him this. Bradley Cooper, he got up there, he sang first.
I thought he sounded good.
Live. He had his moments.
I'm falling.
He had some pitchy moments.
Well, she had a moment.
Well, they both did, yeah. But then they had a moment together.
Oh my God.
There was so much eye contact. Every time she's saying, reach the ground or whatever, she couldn't say reach.
I'll never leave the ground.
I mean, this was the most obviously intimate for many reasons. The lighting,
Did you say intimate?
Oh, did I say intimate again? Didn't we talk about this earlier?
Yeah, when did that just happen?
Well, I had said intimate earlier, and I said it's mints for when you're being intimate.
Yeah, what was that earlier today?
I think it was just when we were talking on the phone.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
I don't think it was recorded,
well,
but now it is. I mean, I think intimates could really be a big seller.
Yeah, I don't see why that doesn't exist. No, I mean, I agree. I think that this was clearly the most memorable performance, not just because it was well, are they about to fuck? But the song has just that built-in. Yes. Where, I mean, people didn't seem to remember or see, I guess maybe because it was our Stars Born review. Not enough people have seen our Stars Born review.
Yeah, go watch it.
Yeah. But there's that thing in the song where the notes shift and it goes from major to minor or whatever, and it just gives you the tingles.
Right.
And it did that. I got the tingles.
They gave you the tingles? Was your giny tingling because of this performance, Andrew?
Oh no, what is happening?
Haven't you remember that South Park episode when the Jonas Brothers were really popular, but they were all into promise rings?
Oh my God, yes! Oh my
and
God,
it was all the little 5-year-old girls who were obsessed with Jonas Brothers, and they kept being like, my giny tingles. So, oh my God, so how drunk/high do you think Samuel L. Jackson and Brie Larson were?
Sometimes.
We're not winging it. We're not winging it. We need words. We need words. The latest.
What was that?
Yeah. So, obviously, exciting for Gaga that she won an Oscar.
Yes. We all knew she was going to win this one and not the other one.
Right.
I mean, I knew.
It's funny. I would have been down for her to win if it weren't for Glenn, which then turned out to not even matter.
I wouldn't have. I'm glad that Olivia won.
I mean, I'm glad that Olivia won too. And she was great, and the speech is great. We'll talk about it. But Gaga got her Oscar. And you know what's exciting is that I think she is a good actress. Yeah. And I really liked that movie. I forgot about it. Watching
it back, I really liked the first hour, whatever, until it fell down off a cliff.
Yeah, once what's his face showed up and
basically once Dave Chappelle showed up, it was like, what's this? And then it was like, ugh, kill me, depressing.
Yeah, you almost said kill me, and then you realized that it's a movie about suicide.
I almost said like, kill myself, depressing, and then I was like, oh God, you know, please take care of yourselves, everybody.
Anyway.
So, yes, she wins. It was fabulous. She was overcome with emotions. She gives a nice speech.
I was still waiting for her to say there could be 100 people in a room.
Oh my God. Like, I was like, yeah, you're going to say it? You're going to say it? Because I think it would have been so self-effacing and funny and amazing if she had.
Bradley, there is not a single person on the planet that could have sang this song with me but you.
And point at Bradley. Just be like, one person, Bradley believes in you. Oh, it would have been so amazing. Do we need to talk about the In Memoriam?
I don't know. It wasn't a particularly good one. And I felt like...
I mean, are they ever good?
Sometimes you're really moved.
Sure, it was definitely bland.
It just felt like perfunctory, you know?
Yeah, and here we go. Let's wait the 2 minutes. They didn't show a lot of fun clips. They didn't it didn't build, and rise and fall. I kept kind of waiting, going, God, who's going to be the last? The last one's always the biggest one, and it was Albert Finney, and I was like, I mean, yes, fully, but I feel like Penny Marshall. They really could have made it a moment.
I know. It's just by the year. Not in between, because I was because Stanley Donen just died, but
they probably couldn't get it in there in time.
I guess not. Yeah, it was already locked off. I think it'll be next year's.
Right. I know, and I was sad about William Goldman. He's my favorite writer. But oh my God! But then Barbara comes out in this sparkling beret, and I was like, yes, and this Norma Desmond realness.
Yes, I was really enjoying this.
I mean, it was wacky, but I liked it.
I was just enjoying her.
It was very Barbara.
It was very Barbara.
Spike Lee, we're both from Brooklyn. We both love hats.
So silly.
Spike, we both love hats.
Okay, we've arrived. Rami Malek and his speech. Well, so first of all, so they're announcing all the Best Actor nominees. And they show Rami Malek and the woman sitting next to him. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know Rami Malek and Emma Roberts were dating.
Oh.
They look the same.
Yeah, they do. That's fair.
It's Lucy Boynton, who I guess is the girl in Bohemian Rhapsody. I haven't seen it, but apparently she's in Bohemian. She's his lady?
The friend /
I don't
whatever.
know / lover. Well, speaking of, so Rami wins.
Oh my God!
And gets up there.
No, before he gets up there, he full on just makes out with her for a good long time.
Oh right, they were getting into it.
It was what is happening? They got just so turned on by Lady Gaga that
it was so they were we have to release this tension. Bradley and her couldn't kiss, so we have to.
Yeah, I don't know.
And at this time, I was like, oh, Emma Roberts, good for you. I swear to God, they look the same.
Sure.
And I even thought, wow, Emma Roberts really looks better as a blonde.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, Rami wins and gets up there. And, it's hard. I don't think he meant any. It was a perfect encapsulation of the problem with the movie, right? That he says, Freddie Mercury, an immigrant, a gay man.
I don't actually know if he ever said Freddie Mercury.
And we made a film about a gay man.
It was weird where he was just referring to this third...
This other being.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure if he ever said Freddie Mercury or even Freddie. It was weird.
Yeah, you're right.
This role of
this role
a gay
was
man,
so important.
What are you talking about? I thought you were in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well, yeah, so first and foremost, Freddie Mercury was a bisexual man. Basically, his speech was, like I said, the encapsulation of what is wrong with that movie. Let's, cut out all of the sort of rated R stuff, all of the sort of non-PC things, and just sort of make it sort of a general, I don't know. It's it's like a movie that, your parents are going to watch and be like, oh, I love Queen. And you're like, okay, all right. It was audience friendly,
right?
Is what I would say.
And the whole point of Queen's music, I feel is that it's subversive. It's twisting things and
taking things and doing the opposite, or being outlandish, or all that stuff.
And that was Freddie, so it's
that was Freddie, and so it's what are we even doing? It just seems so annoying.
Yeah, I get it.
I was just so annoyed. But anyway, apparently he was very good at acting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get over it. Like, it's not for me.
Sure.
It's just not.
Sure. I mean, who would you have preferred to win?
I mean, I didn't really care.
Right.
Because I didn't see Vice, even though I heard Christian Bale was good.
Sure.
I didn't see Green Book, even though I heard Viggo Mortensen. No, actually, I heard Viggo Mortensen was good from the producers that said he was good. But from outside opinions, apparently he's playing, like, Super Mario Brothers. Like, he's like, I am Italian.
Oh, God.
Apparently. I don't know. Again, I have not seen the movie.
Me either.
And then who else was nominated?
Willem Dafoe and Bradley Cooper.
Oh, right. Willem Dafoe, no one saw that movie, even though I love him.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. I'm not really giving it to Bradley.
So I was like, it was a weird choices, I guess. Like, maybe they should have picked other people.
Well, sure. I mean, yeah. Steve Coogan and John C. Reilly.
Exactly.
Hello. They can split the vote up against each other.
Oh, no. See, that's the problem. That's what happened to poor Glenn. That's the problem.
Well, and what I heard was, the main thing I heard about Bohemian Rhapsody was, he's the best part. His performance is the best part of the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I'm not, like, mad about it. But it was frustrating that they kept talking around the queerness of it all.
Actually, it kind of reminds me of Tom of Finland, the Tom of Finland movie that you didn't see.
No, I didn't see
You're fine. It was bad.
I'm fine.
It was really bad. And actually, that was similar too. Like the fact that there's crazier sex scenes in the Sonja Henie biopic than there is in the Tom of Finland biopic.
That's next level. Like, that's next level.
It's like insane.
Crazy. I mean, maybe we liked Sonia the White Swan more than we thought.
Oh, I definitely liked that movie until it got super long and boring. But yes.
Oh, yeah, because we didn't talk about it. So we hadn't seen it when we recorded the Sundance special. Loved the first hour. Yeah. It was like some combination of like Baz Luhrmann's Gatsby, but also just like a biopic, and like the music was crazy and it was like over the top and rated R, and she was a fabulous cunt, and it was like old Hollywood, and I was like, yes, ice skating,
all of it.
And then the last 45 or so was just like real bummer, depressing, like let's just keep lingering on how sad it is that she sort of drank her life away.
Yeah.
And I just think it could have been paced better. So
I agree.
Like,
I think the
props
pacing
for the first hour, fucking loved it, and then it just kind of meandered and got sad.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to it. I hope that it gets released at least.
They should re-edit the third act.
They really need to.
If they cut 15 minutes out of that movie, it'd be fucking fabulous.
I agree. But anyway. Yeah, but no, it reminded me of the Tom of Finland movie where the Tom of Finland movie had a straight director and straight actors.
What the fuck?
And it was just like,
I mean, at least Bohemian Rhapsody had half a gay director.
Sure. Oh God, though. But like, yikes. But it's like you got to get someone who understands and like really appreciates. Not that they can't, I guess, as a straight man, like that doesn't.
Well, it's a lot of this evening's winners later on had the vibe of stay in your lane somewhat, but also I want to be inclusive and let everyone tell the stories they want to tell, but then hire people around you that have had that shared experience, or that can be a person that keeps you on track, or like, well, that wouldn't really be what it was, or how it happened, or whatever.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people that do know.
Yeah, it's like that woman said in that speech. She's like, women and people of color just make the stories better.
They just make it better, and it's true. Yeah. But so I guess the gag of the night, Best Actress.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Poor Glenn.
I mean, she'll be fine. Glenn's great. She's living her best life.
Yes, she's fabulous. We haven't talked about this, but I love that she brought her dog on stage at the Independent Spirit Awards. Also,
oh my God,
that picture of her that Juliette Lewis posted.
Yes, that pink suit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, with the dog. I was just like, yes, Glenn, you.
Kind of wish she'd worn this pink suit to the Oscars.
I agree. Also, it would be on theme.
It would be on theme.
Suits.
It's pink and it's a suit. Give it a little capelet and you're ready to go.
Exactly.
A little pink scrunchie to go with it. But no, so the gag of the night, Olivia Colman wins Best Actress.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we haven't really
Colman
talked about
or Goldman?
Goldman. We don't know where we are until we've heard our last name pronounced. No, Colman, who everyone was asking, like, oh, is she on Fabulous Contender? And I was like, guys, she has been there for years.
Oh, yeah.
I have been Olivia Colman's champion for years. Ever since Peep Show. If you haven't watched Peep Show, it's this really funny British TV show that she's on. So anyway, yes, so gagged, Olivia wins, Glenn, the far and away favorite to win.
Yeah.
But I thought of all the people that would have won over her, I'm so glad it was Olivia.
Oh, yeah. And that performance was fabulous.
Sometimes I just really wish I could be this delightfully, self-deprecatingly British. I just really do.
Oh, my God.
This is hilarious. Gone Oscar.
Like, it just pours out of them. Just like the That's just like, oh my God, like it could have come off so wrong when she's like, Glenn, like I've been looking up to you forever, like you're my fucking idol, and I really didn't want it to go down this way. Like, oh my God, like to like simultaneously be like, yes, I won, but also like, I am so sorry. Like,
right.
Like she just handled it so well and was so fucking funny about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I have an Oscar now. Okay, that's how that is. Yes.
This is not going to happen again.
I mean, I do love that it's like, oh, you play a queen, you win an Oscar. At this point.
Yeah.
Basically.
So that's what Glenn needs to do.
Yes, she just needs to play the queen.
Oh my God.
Olivia Colman's dress I found interesting, this sort of like emerald green with this sleeved pashmina.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was kind of here for it. Did you notice that it very much looked like Alfonso Cuarón was texting during Rami Malek's speech? I don't know, but it very much looked like it.
Oh my gosh. Maybe he was watching Roma.
Just like on Netflix
the way
on
it's
his
meant
phone.
to be seen.
Oh, just like I got to get into this one more time.
Oh my God.
Just because. Well, it's interesting because it won for Best Foreign.
Mm-hmm.
It could have conceivably won Best Foreign and Best Picture.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. I just was like, oh yeah, that Mexican film studio Netflix.
What?
Well, because Roma won Best Foreign, like, it's like from Mexico.
Oh, sure.
And it's this is a Netflix movie. What are we talking about?
So are we done talking about Glenn? Not really.
No, not really. Also, I do love that Olivia gave us just ending a sentence with Lady Gaga.
Oh, thank you so much, Lady Gaga.
She's so fucking fabulous.
Yeah. It was a great speech, and she's wonderful.
Someone else might have angered the gays, let's just say, for winning over Glenn. Like, I was like, ooh, hopefully she's not going to just be remembered as like that lady that stole Glenn Close's Oscar. But I think this speech really like let all that sort of tension out of the air.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, oh, she's fabulous.
Yeah. Well, actually,
maybe she'll get her own following.
We haven't really talked about The Favorite.
Oh, that's true.
I saw it and I thought, oh, Avryl's not going to really like this.
You were correct, sir.
I mean, so it's the same director as The Lobster, which neither of us really cared for. Although I liked the beginning of The Lobster.
I liked the first hour.
Yeah.
I felt like it then went off the rails.
Yeah.
With this director's movies, whose name I'm not going to bother to butcher. He's Greek. It's really, I'm just going to butcher it.
Yeah.
So
Yorgos Maximos or whatever.
There you go. It's not Maximos, but it is Yorgos something.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Every time I watch his movies, I feel like I'm missing the joke. Like, I don't know if they're for me. I always feel like, should I be laughing? I'm not. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to be feeling about it, sure. Which is certainly a reaction. Like, maybe somebody wants that reaction, sure. I just feel like ignored almost. I don't know. I'm often confused by his characters and like their choices and like the motivations behind what's happening. So while all, the costumes were fabulous and fucking Rachel Weisz and Olivia Colman are fabulous cunts and I love them. And Emma Stone was very good. I found myself, I'm sorry. She's good. She's good, but she is not a fabulous cunt.
No,
I'm sorry.
Not.
She's just not. I found myself being bored and not really knowing anyone's motivation other than just sort of general power. Like, there was no moment for me of like, oh, you one-upped her because you're so manipulative, because Queen Anne, the character, was so easily manipulated.
Right.
It was just like, pay attention to her and she'll pick you. And so there was no like cat and mouse, back and forth, like, ooh, I one-upped you, I did this, I did that.
Right.
And like super in-depth manipulation, Machiavellian kind of stuff going on.
Well, that was what really bothered me, actually, was at the end, spoiler alert, I guess, whatever, Rachel Weisz is like, oh, I think we should move to France. And basically just gives up. And I was just like...
Yeah. I mean, I think she realized like, maybe it was better not being with the queen. Like, haha, now you have to deal with her. Like,
I mean,
in
maybe.
the long run. But no, I just couldn't figure out, like when Emma Stone, I mean, we're going to get into spoilers. When Emma Stone poisons Rachel Weisz, it wasn't like some secret. Like, she comes back and immediately is like, you poisoned me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like, well, what was the long game here? Did Emma Stone think she was going to go for a ride and fall off her horse and get locked in a brothel? I don't think so. She acted surprised when she was gone for 3 days. So
did she think that
was
she was
just going to be
die?
Sick in bed? But if Rachel Weisz hadn't gone on that horseback ride, she would have just been like in bed and then been like, Emma Stone, you poisoned me. Like, so I just couldn't figure out like what the plan was. I was like, are you bad at the plan? What is the plan? I like a plan. You know how I like a plan.
You do this, and then you do this,
and then we do this, and then you do this. I found this movie frustrating.
I get that.
And I hated the fisheye lens.
Oh my God. The fact that it was nominated for cinematography.
It looked like, oh, we had to film in a real castle and the rooms weren't big enough, so we had to use a fucking fisheye lens to capture the whole room. I was like, what is this?
That is exactly what I said.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I literally was like, do you think it's just because they had to find a way to fit it in the room?
Because then there was like a couple shots outside that were fisheye. And I was like, is this a theme you decided on because of the rooms?
Yes.
Or did you just think this was a good idea?
Either way, it was a bad idea.
I'm here for the subject matter. I'm here for the costumes and for the women and all of it. But I found myself like bored and not really interested in like who was I rooting for. I was just kind of like,
I get it.
Sorry, everybody. I know you all really liked it, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah, no, I fully get that. I liked a lot of parts about it, and I thought they were all fabulous.
Well, and the more like they showed all the best clips last night, and I was like, oh, I like that scene, and like, oh, I like that scene. So I didn't hate it. I just didn't really like it that much.
Right. There were a lot of fabulous scenes, but then the scenes that they didn't show were where it was like uncomfortable or
real
awkward or boring.
Strangely enough, my favorite kind of part of the movie was Nicholas Hoult.
Really?
Because he was in the movie I liked. He was in this over-the-top, rich, what do we do with our time? Let's throw tomatoes at this naked man. He was in the sort of like opulence of it all movie.
Right.
That I was like, oh, you're making like commentary and like I can get into this. And like the weird dance that him and Rachel Weisz do.
Oh my
I
God.
was like, yes to this. And so like those scenes I was invested in. But then there would just be a lot of machinations of nothing happening.
Sure.
Him pushing her off the cliff all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I just felt alienated. Like, I don't think I get this. And I'll be honest, I think a lot of people didn't get it, but they just thought it was like weird and arty and liked it because of that.
Wow.
I'm putting it out there. I saw it in a theater full of elderly people and they were all like, oh, wow, that was something. I'm like, you just like this because it had lesbians and you feel cool for watching that movie. Putting it out there. Oh my goodness. So then, Best Director, it was a good night for Alfonso Cuarón.
He cleaned up.
Even though I have not seen Roma, it seems like it's a very personal story. Obviously, it's based on his real life.
Yes.
And he wrote it, and he directed it, and he did the
cinematography,
and he produced it. All of the above. So I think
it was making me think of
Barbara.
Exactly. I was like, is he going to show up as nominated for makeup and hairstyling too?
Oh my God. He used his own clothes from his closet.
Exactly. Oh my God.
So I think that's what most people were responding to.
Sure.
It was a very personal piece of work. It seems.
Yes.
Again,
yes.
I have not seen it.
I have not seen it either. I've heard a lot of mixed things, whereas everything that I've heard about BlackKklansman has been rave reviews.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was his time.
It did. It felt like, I think partially maybe the problem was Spike Lee also felt like it was his time.
Yes.
Because oh boy, was he pissed when he
God.
lost. We haven't talked about BlackKklansman. So I watched BlackKklansman and I really liked it. The story is fascinating and it's sort of reined in Spike Lee a little, it's like audience friendly Spike Lee, so it's still edgy and everything, but it definitely feels more structured and more sort of mainstream for him. So John David Washington stars. He's Denzel's son.
Oh.
And Adam Driver is in it, and he was really, I really like Adam Driver. I mean, I know like Kylo Ren's a disaster. But, I don't know. I just find him intriguing. There's something about Adam Driver.
I get it.
I'm glad to see him doing more dramatic work where he's going to, kind of spread his wings and get past Kylo Ren.
Right.
He was really, really fabulous. Topher Grace that plays David Duke in it.
Oh.
And it was so funny. I was reading about it, and apparently Topher Grace was being interviewed or something. He was like, oh, I was in like kind of a dark place after having to play like David Duke. And he goes, to cleanse my palate, I decided to edit the 3 Hobbit movies, the Peter Jackson Hobbit movies, into one movie.
Oh my God.
Because he did that with Star Wars, with the prequels.
Oh, he did that? Topher Grace did that?
Yes!
Oh my God, I had no idea.
Which, by the way, it's awesome if you're a Star Wars nerd and you just want to forget about the prequels. It's fabulous.
Oh my God.
The job that he did on Star Wars. I have not watched the Hobbit ones because I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't care at all.
So that just cracked me the fuck up that he was like, I needed to cleanse my palate, so I'll just re-edit this, 6.5 hour,
Right, that's so silly.
No, I think BlackKklansman, honestly probably should have won everything.
Yeah.
Because it was a fabulous story from like a really, amazing filmmaker, and the subject matter, and it was powerful, and the performances were good. I really enjoyed BlackKklansman. I thought it was great. But there was something very special about Guillermo del Toro giving the award to Alfonso.
Absolutely.
They had a really nice hug, and I was like, oh, it was a moment. It was a good moment.
Sure. We're here. Should we talk about...
Can we just talk about Julia Roberts' pretty pink dress?
Oh my God. She looked so fabulous.
She looked amazing.
I was gagged. Because, I don't love Julia Roberts, but...
She's a Ryan Gosling for you. Sometimes you're into it, sometimes you're not.
No, not even. Mostly I'm just, like, not really here for it. I'm like...
Really?
I love her in Pretty Woman. But mostly I'm just kind of like, I could take or leave you.
Okay.
Like, certainly leaving out Eat, Pray, Love.
Oh, boy.
But she just looked so fabulous. I was like,
Yeah.
Oh my God, Julia Roberts, you are giving me everything.
She comes out to announce Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was there was no front runner, really.
No, not really.
And there was nothing I was rooting for, really. I mean, I was rooting for BlackKklansman of the options, but there was no, movie I was just so passionate about that I was like, it's the best, it has to win.
Right. Which is why for me I had said, I was like, just give it to Black Panther. That sounds fabulous.
Oh my God.
But
that would have been amazing.
Right? It would have been so then it would have been a moment. But I don't think everyone in the Academy is thinking about the moment.
No. Well, so Green Book wins.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, when you put it just straight out in a line on paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's of this year, who made the best movie about race and the Black experience? Was it Ryan Coogler? Was it Spike Lee? Was it Jordan Peele? No, it was Peter Farrelly.
Right.
Who did Shallow Hal and There's Something About Mary.
God.
You know what I mean? So it's just while I think comedy is underrepresented and should be taken more seriously, absolutely. And can people change genres and grow and move? Absolutely. But when you put it just down into the facts
right.
of he was up against fucking Spike Lee, Ryan Coogler, Jordan Peele, because Jordan Peele produced BlackKklansman too.
Oh, cool.
All of these different people. I'm sure I'm forgetting people. When you put it down like that, it's oh, fuck. It's the face plant emoji. It's just oh, what? Really? This can't be happening.
Yeah.
And then when everyone got up there and they were all white men, that's what I mean, where it's if you're gonna tackle subject matter that you don't have personal connection to or personal experience with, surround yourself with people who do and who have.
Exactly.
Again, I have not seen Green Book.
Right. I've heard a lot of people really like it. I hear it's one of those movies where your parents will love it.
I think it's a crowd pleasing, easy out, I'm white, I'm not racist movie.
Right.
Basically.
Right. I was also waiting for Julia Roberts to come out and be like, oh my God, you guys, I'm so sorry. It was Black Panther that won.
Oops, I mixed up the envelope.
I did a La La Land.
I pulled the La La Land, sorry.
How fabulous would that be? It would have been so great.
I mean, I guess I'll watch it at some point, Green Book.
Yeah, I'm sure I will, and I'm sure it'll be fine. But it also, from what I've heard, is somewhat problematic in parts, particularly with race relations. And it's just is this what we're doing?
There's been a bunch of stuff back and forth about how Dr. Shirley, Mahershala Ali's character, his family has said that they got a bunch of the stuff wrong, and it's been back and forth. Then there was an interview that they unearthed of him saying no, they were really good friends, him and his driver were really good friends. So there's all these different sort of conflicting reports. And there was a thing about Peter Farrelly being the family members that ended up complaining, he was like, oh, I didn't realize that they were still around. And it's maybe you didn't do your due diligence.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of weirdness surrounding it of you wanted to tell this story and you told it very much from your white male perspective.
Right.
And that's commercial. But rewarding it over something like BlackKklansman and Black Panther is just so extra salt in the wound.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. But can we talk about Glenn Close?
Oh my God, Glenn Close. Glenn fucking Close. And Bradley Cooper's mom.
Bradley Cooper's mother.
And she was wearing sunglasses the whole time, which made me laugh.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I mean, there was some movies that I feel got left out and underappreciated this year.
Yeah.
Namely, Quiet Place.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I mean, I guess it got nominated for sound editing, but...
horror movies traditionally, like comedies, are underappreciated.
Hereditary.
I know you didn't love Hereditary, but I absolutely think that Toni Collette
Oh, absolutely.
100% should have been nominated.
Absolutely.
And honestly, that movie should have been nominated. For all of our problems with it, it was fascinating and well shot and more interesting than a lot of the crap that was nominated.
That's true.
I would have put Hereditary up there. I would have put Quiet Place up there. I think Quiet Place was like the tightest movie of the year as far as just pace, tone, performance, all of the above.
Yeah.
I really loved Annihilation. Nobody saw it, and I don't think anyone else liked it. But I really liked that movie.
I've heard people say that they liked it. I think it was niche, though. You know, like, I don't think a lot of people did see it.
I really liked Annihilation. I thought it had a real mood and a tone, and I felt fully immersed in the theater, and there was, like, scary parts and good performances, and I thought that was a really cool movie.
Nice.
Speaking of Toni Collette getting shut out, I'm so mad that Keira Knightley didn't get nominated for Collette.
I know. You know, we talked
keep
about
talking
this.
about it.
But that's how much we liked it.
We're the champions of this movie. I am appalled it was not nominated for Best Costumes.
I know.
And I think Keira really could have... I mean, that was one of my favorite movies of the year.
It really was.
Fabulous. It's a great movie.
It really was. And you know what's funny is that it's weird because Collette is, plot-wise, is very similar to The Wife.
Yeah, it's very similar.
But it's a much different story.
Collette's a much better movie.
I agree.
And a more interesting story.
Absolutely. I mean, the only thing about The Wife that I really liked was Glenn. I don't think anyone would have talked about that movie if it wasn't for Glenn Close.
No, not really. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, we can talk about The Wife more, but, like, it was fine. And I left and I was like, oh, that was a movie that happened. And Glenn Close was great.
I thought it was sort of interesting to see, and who knows how much of this is, like, accurate, but, like, sort of the Nobel Peace Prize process. I've never seen a movie about this before. And so that was sort of interesting to me. I like Jonathan Pryce, the guy who played the husband. I like him as an actor.
Yeah, he played a good asshole. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job, like, working with each other. Like, they fed off of each other. Oh my God. Well, I found out that originally it was supposed to be Gary Oldman.
Oh.
Which, I mean, you know that I love me some Gary Oldman, but I think that would have been a mistake.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would have been a mess.
Because he would have come off way more intimidating, way more violent, way more... I mean, he's a great actor, so maybe he could have, you know, pulled it off. But I just feel like Jonathan Pryce did a really good job of being sort of that, like, literary, douchey, like, his brain is what's sexy.
Right,
you know?
Right. There was something about the young guy that played him, though, too, that was, like, weird. It was like, oh.
I was kind of into him. I was like, what's happening? You're barely in this movie. But I'm like, yeah. He had, like, a Ben Whishaw thing kind of going on.
There was something.
He definitely had something which helped because I did think for the most part they did a good job of not making him, like, a complete and utter fucking asshole who you were like, I fucking hate you, you're the devil. He was gross and an asshole,
right.
But you kind of understood why she stayed or why she originally fell in love with him or whatever. Like, you kind of, like, got a window into
Yeah,
it.
I thought they did a good job of that, where it was, like, even, like, the back rub or whatever. And obviously Glenn's performance was great, where you could see, like, she...
It was all in the face.
Oh my God. She just
all of
did
those
so much
close-ups
without
of her.
saying a word.
She was definitely the star of the movie. And I thought it was, like, a good movie and very much a movie for right now. You know, women and yes, and we're going to, like, take a step out from behind our husbands and all of this stuff. But I do think Collette was much more successful and more interesting.
And much more interesting. It tackled more and...
her sexuality and, like, the era and the clothes. And she owned herself, like, spoiler alert for The Wife, after he has his heart attack. I was like, fuck. Now she has to kind of martyr herself again and be like, oh, I feel guilty because I, like... basically, you know, induced his heart attack, and then now she can't be like, I wrote it all, I was the one, you know, behind the curtain or whatever, because they'll just refute it because he's dead. Like, it was a weird, I was like, nah,
right.
It wasn't the ending I wanted.
I agree.
So I also finally ended up seeing Isle of Dogs.
Oh, did you?
Even though I was, like, bored in the trailer.
Yeah, and?
It is exactly what I expected. You know, it's a little Wes Anderson movie that's beautiful to look at and a little boring and just very nice. I liked it more than I thought I would based on the trailer, but I wasn't obsessed with it. But it looked visually, I mean, his worlds are so rounded out. It's amazing.
That's really true. I mean, he's a really great world builder.
There was a weirdness of, so all the dogs speak English, even though they're in Japan, but all the people speak Japanese.
Oh.
And at some point, one of the dogs is even like, oh, too bad we don't speak the same language. Wait, do all dogs speak English? Is dog language just English? I wish what they had done is had a moment of, outside of everyone in the scene, have the dogs being like, bark, bark, bark.
Right,
and
exactly.
The person being like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then be like, bark, bark, bark. And then come back to the dog being like, man, he really can't hear what I'm saying. Bark, bark, bark. You know,
yeah.
Had they made it that, it would have, I think, cleared up some of the, like, huh? of it all.
Sure.
No, I thought it was, it's exactly what I expected, and you wouldn't like it because you didn't like Fantastic Mr. Fox, and it was essentially the same.
Cool.
Same-ish.
Great. So I'm good skipping it.
You're cool. I didn't think you'd like it anyway, but I was dazzled by the visuals.
Well, sure. I get that.
Oh, and Jeff Goldblum's one of the dogs.
Oh my God.
This is my favorite part. All of his lines, he just keeps showing up and being like, hey, did you guys hear the gossip about so-and-so? Blah, blah, blah happened.
Oh
hey, did you guys hear this gossip about blah, blah? And they keep being like, where are you finding all this gossip? Who's talking to you? And he's just like, people talk to me. I have one of those faces. People like to talk to me. I don't know. They tell me their secrets. But he's just like, all of his like, hey, did you hear the gossip about so-and-so? They're dating with this. And blah, blah. And it's just like, it really made me laugh.
Like
so that was my favorite part.
Cool.
Of course, Jeff Goldblum was my favorite part.
Of course. So another one that I thought was kind of interesting that didn't get any, I really don't think it got any recognition at all. Searching.
Yeah, I think I probably would have nominated this for editing.
Oh, yeah.
So the whole movie takes place on different screens or computers or phones or, text or Skype or secret cameras. That was stupid.
Yep.
And it was just a very tightly paced, well done thriller that, somewhat falls apart at the end.
A little bit. But I still liked it.
I really liked it. I thought John Cho, fucking talk about selling a movie.
Yeah.
Like if it hadn't been for him.
Oh my gosh.
And Deborah Messing was miscast and really weird.
Really weird. She was horribly miscast.
She's like the police detective and it seems wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
But then when one of the conceits of the movie is that everything's on a screen. So at like one point, John Cho and his, detective looking into his daughter's disappearance are like Skyping. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just not thinking that's how that works, but sure.
Right? Like, whatever.
It's certainly somewhat a fantasy.
Yes.
But I thought structurally it was really cool and interesting. And I thought John Cho, honestly, maybe I would have nominated him. I thought he was fabulous.
I would be down with that. I thought he was really amazing.
Without him, there isn't a movie.
Oh, no, not at all.
So.
Yeah. Without him, it's just a gimmick, too. Like.
Exactly. He brought it beyond the gimmick.
Yes.
And elevated it. And I really appreciated that. And I think he's fabulous.
I agree.
So yeah, that was just a couple of the movies we watched over the course of the year. It was a weird Oscars, but also a kind of cool one. Like I said, there was a lot more women, diversity. The outfits were very fluid. I was here for a lot of it.
I was here for a lot of it too. I think the biggest thing was that I didn't really care about most of the movies. I don't know why this year was so disappointing. Like for some reason, this year just kind of sucked for movies.
Well, and the thing, oh my God, I read about The Wife. They filmed it like 2 or 3 years ago, but they specifically held it so she would have a better chance at winning an Oscar.
Oh
my God.
No.
Because I think like Frances was sweeping and they were like, that's not going to happen. So let's hold. Yeah, right? Oh my God. The plot thickens. It just keeps getting worse and worse. She'll do something else fabulous.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's
so I'm sure.
Glenn motherfucking Close.
Exactly.
And we love her.
We stan Glenn Close in this household.
But we also stan Olivia Colman.
Oh my God, absolutely. And Lady Gaga. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think that's a stretch.
No, I don't think people are going to be shocked that I'm like a Lady Gaga fan. Anyway, well, thanks for joining us on our second episode of Let's Have a Kiki.
Yes, this one's going to be much longer than others.
Yeah, this is actually a lot longer than we intended. So that's exciting. Yeah. Oh, also, wait, we didn't talk about the fact that I met John Legend.
Oh, you met him.
Yeah. Oh my God, wait, I also didn't tell you the best part of the story too. I met Candy Spelling.
Oh, really?
Because her escort assistant person that was with her had a sequin jacket that was very much like mine, but probably $10,000.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, we should like take a picture together because that's crazy. As we're taking the picture, like afterwards, she goes, "Hi, I'm Candy Spelling." And I was just like, oh, hi, I'm Andrew.
Galdi.
Right. So that happened. It's pretty fabulous.
Pretty fabulous.
If I do say so myself.
So cheers to all the fabulous kinds.
Yes.
And cheers to all the tuxedo gowns.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And to Jason Momoa's scrunchie.